We are now in Unit 4, Graphing Linear Functions. So make sure you find your new Unit 4 notebook. Go ahead and put your name on slide 1, and then we'll go ahead to slide 3. So first we're going to go over how to graph a line given 2 points. So here are the steps. Step 1 is to plot the 2 points. Graph the 2 points on the coordinate plane. Step 2 is connect the points using a straight edge or ruler. Now obviously we're not going to be using a straight edge or ruler on the computer. However, we will be doing some practice graphing by hand in class, so it's really important that you're drawing a straight line. So really anything you have that's straight is going to work. Your calculator, your cell phone, if you have an ID card, like your school ID from last year, any of those will work just fine. And then the last thing you want to do is put arrows on both ends. So you want to make sure you're showing that that line goes on forever in both directions. And you'll notice that we've given you lines here with arrows already on them. You can use these. If you're going to draw your own line, it's really important that you make it have arrows on both ends. And just to show you quickly how to do that, if you go up here, you want to click the one with an arrow, you draw a line, and then you'll see these 2 ends pop up. We want them both to be arrows. Also notice it's really small and hard to see, so you definitely need to make it a thicker point weight so you can actually see the line, and make sure it's a dark color. Don't make it bright yellow or anything. But again, there's already lines here for you to use, so you don't need to do that. Let's try these problems out. -3, 2, and 6, -1. So first I'm going to move this point to -3, 2. So where is that? X is -3, so 1, 2, 3, and Y is +2, up 2. So I want it to be right there. And we want to center the point on that. Okay, next 6, -1. We're going to go over 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down 1. All right, and then I'm going to move my line so it goes through those 2 points. So I would suggest you make it go through 1 point and then drag it so that it goes through the other point. There we go. Looks pretty good. So I've covered the whole coordinate plane. I've got my 2 points, the line's going through those 2 points. Now I can answer these questions and ask about the X and Y intercept. And this is why it's really important that if you're graphing this by hand, not on a computer, that you use a straight edge. Because if this line wasn't straight, it would be much harder to figure out where the X and Y intercepts were. So here's my x-intercept. That's at 1, 2, 3, 0. Remember, our intercepts have to be ordered pairs. And my y-intercept is here at 0, 1. Next example, 2 points, -4, -4, and 0, 4. So -4, -4 means I'm going over to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1, 2, 3, 4. And my next point is at 0, 4, so go over 0 and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just need to make the line go through those 2 points. Okay, looks pretty good. So my domain and range this time. So domain, remember, is x values from left to right. Well, this line goes all the way to the left, and it goes all the way to the right. So all x values are going to be covered. So my domain is all real numbers. What about my range? Range is my y values, which we look at from bottom to top. This graph goes all the way down forever, and then it also goes up forever. So it's going to cover the entire y-axis. So my range is also all real numbers. On to the next slide, how to graph using intercepts. So as a reminder, One of the important things to know about intercepts is that on an x-intercept, the y-coordinate is always 0, and on a y-intercept, the x-coordinate is always 0. And this is useful because one thing you can always do if you don't know how to graph something is plot points. I can always put numbers into the equation and see what I get out, by making a table, and then I can graph the line. Now, if I think about what numbers are easy to do math with, the first number I think about is 0. So if I make x 0, I can find the y-intercept. If I make y 0, I can find the x-intercept. That's 2 points, and then I can graph the line. So our steps are going to be, first we're going to find the x-intercept by plugging in 0 for y and solving for x. And then we can plot the x-intercept. Once you find it, you're going to graph it. Then I'm going to find the other intercept. Find the y-intercept by plugging in 0 for x and solving for y. And then once you have that, again, you're going to graph it. Plot the y-intercept. And then same as before, once you have the 2 points, you can connect them with a line, make sure it has 2 arrows. So for this first example, they're just giving you the intercepts. So my x-intercept is -5, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my y-intercept is 0, -4. So over 0, down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I draw my line through those 2 points. And there you have it. Next couple examples. For the next 3, we're going to be finding the x and y intercepts ourselves, so go ahead and grab your paper. All right, so let's find our intercepts. I'm going to start by finding the x-intercept, and I know if I'm finding the x-intercept, I'm making y 0. So to find my x-intercept, I have 2x minus 0 equals 4. Well, this minus 0 doesn't do anything, so it's really just 2x equals 4. Divide both sides by 2, and x is 2, which means my x-intercept is 2, 0. X is 2, y is 0. To find the y-intercept, we make our x value 0. So 2 times 0 minus y equals 4. Well, 2 times 0 is just 0. So again, this whole thing kind of just goes away. I have negative y equals 4. And remember, if there's no number, there's always that invisible 1. Divide both sides by -1. And y is a -4. So altogether, my y-intercept is 0, -4. So back on the slide, my x-intercept is 2, 0. My y-intercept is 0, -4. And so I'm going to graph those 2 points, which is here and here. And then I draw a line between them. All right, there we go. Let's try the next one. Again, I'm going to find my x-intercept by making the y value 0. 3 times 0 minus 2x equals 12. So again, this whole thing becomes 0. 0 minus 2x is just minus 2x. Divide by -2, and x equals a -6. So your x-intercept is -6, 0. To find our y-intercept, we make x 0. 2 times 0 is 0, minus 0 doesn't do anything. It's really just 3y equals 12. Divide both sides by 3, and you get 4, which means your y-intercept is 0, 4. So for 3, we got -6, 0, and 0, comma 4. And we'll go ahead and graph those points. -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 0, 4. And then just draw your line between them. For our last one, we'll just keep doing the same thing. Find your x-intercept by making the y value 0. 3 times 0 is 0. Adding 0 doesn't do anything. We get 4x equals 6. Divide both sides by 4. We are going to get a fraction here. That's going to reduce to 3/2. So my x-intercept is 3/2, comma 0. I go to find my y-intercept by making the x value 0. This goes away, and all I have to do is divide by 3 to get 2. So my y-intercept is 0, comma 2. X-intercept was 3/2, 3/2, 0, and 0, 2. So let's graph these points as best we can. So 3/2, 0 would be about here. It's about 1.5. And 0, 2 is up here. And then we graph. So while I do have a relatively good sketch of this graph now, it's not super accurate because I had to approximate where 3/2 is, because it's not on a grid line. So that's the flaw with this method, is that it's really only good to use if both your x and y intercept are integers. So in a future lesson, we'll learn about some other ways to graph if both of your intercepts are not integers. Make sure to add pictures of your work up here.